Do not get your girlfriend or boyfriend's name tattooed on you. Do not do it. You get your partner's name. It's the kiss of death. You'll regret it. Don't do it. Don't do it. Blah, blah, blah.
Thanks for coming in, Barney.
No worries. Thanks for having me.
Right. We'll start off with just giving us an idea of why you went into tattooing.
Do you know what? It's very strange, but I remember being about 13 or 14 years old and knowing I want to be tattooed when I'm older. Really? Yeah. It's very strange. I don't know. I remember sitting in school with a biro and drawing them what I was going to get when I was 18.
What was the tattoos at the time then? What was people having?
Do you know what? It's funny. I remember watching a documentary about gangs in El Salvador. It was on BBC, and I always remember this. And they were covered head to toe with gang tattoos, and it was like that Chicano kind of style. Yeah. And I just thought they looked really cool. Really? I just think it's stuff like Roman numerals or like big sort of black and grey pieces all over their body. Right. I don't know why. It's strange, but I thought, I like the look of that. It looks cool.
But you was obviously into art.
Always. That was the only thing in school that I was ever had, apart from PE, sport, football, and drawing, art class. Everything else, I couldn't give a monkeys, to be honest with you. Yeah. And
then you thought, well, I'm going to do a bit of tattooing with this when I get older.
As soon as I can.
But you obviously never went to tattooing straight away.
I didn't, no. Life happened, and I had to get a job and I had to earn money. Yeah. And I didn't have the privilege or the chance to be able to pursue it at 18, like a lot of tattoo artists do. I had to go and get a job. And so...
how was you building up to doing your own tattooing then? How was you learning?
I was just constantly drawing, because tattooing and being able to draw are two completely different things. Completely different. You have to, you can teach a shaved monkey to tattoo in 6 months. Okay. The technicalities behind it aren't that difficult to learn as long as you're taught properly. But being able to draw, that's a learnt skill. Yeah. And I can't stand when people say, oh, he's naturally good at that. He's talented. Well, he might have a bit of talent, but unless you practice every single day and you're drawing every single day, you're no good. And I know tattoo artists today that can't draw. Yeah.
But so years ago, when you were tattooing, there wasn't machines. So people then, it was an art. You'd have to know how to.
What do you mean?
Well, like now you've got machines that you use to tattoo, don't you? Where before, machines, how would you tattoo?
There's always been, at least in the 18th, 19th century, there was machines. Okay. Yeah, there was machines. But, I mean, the history of tattooing, you can go all the way back to sort of tribal days. And that would be with a stick, with a little needle on the end, and they'd hammer it in.
Because it was big in Victorian times, because when Captain Cook came back.
So, there was a tattoo artist called Sutherland MacDonald. And he had a shop in Waterloo, and his shtick was that he used to tattoo royalty. Oh, okay. Yeah. So they get big sort of Oriental dragons on their legs, to show they're well travelled and they've been around the world.
And they were done with some sort of machine as well.
Yeah, there was electric machines then. Yeah. Apparently, I don't know whether this is true, but Thomas Edison.
It is, yeah, he did, yeah.
Had the patent for the first tattoo machine.
Yeah, he got involved with it.
He got involved. He got in early doors. He knew there was money in it.
So from your perspective then, you get a collection of drawings. Yeah. And then you...
Are you talking about how to get into tattooing?
Well, let's start off how you basically would do a tattoo yourself. Would you create a drawing?
So I was taught this by a good tattoo artist. It said the man with the most reference is king. Yeah. So you can get reference from anywhere, Japan, early Victorian sort of lithographs, illustrations and stuff. And how I learned was I'd look at something as I'm going to copy that. I'm not going to trace it, but I'm going to try and get it as near as damn it to what I see there. Yeah. And it will be rubbish. The first 10 goes. You keep drawing, you practice. Eventually it starts to look a little bit more like it. And as you're doing that, you sort of pick up little tips along the way. And you sort of correct yourself. Yeah.
So I want a tattoo. I don't know anything about tattooing. You would do the drawing. Yeah. And then how would it get onto my arm?
So nowadays, everyone's using iPads. Right. So you can draw it straight onto the iPad. You can even take a picture of your arm so it could fit. I can draw it to fit your arm. Then I'm going to print it. to make a stencil, to get it on your skin, you use hectograph paper.
Right. Okay.
Yeah, a stencil machine.
Okay.
So it heat prints onto the stencil paper. Then you use a solution, and then it goes straight onto your skin.
So you put it onto there, and then you're going to get a machine, and you're going to copy it onto my skin.
I'm going to do the
This
lines.
is just for people who've never had tattoos and don't.
Yeah,
know
of course. And so that's the easy part. But there's so much little things in between that you have to learn. There's between a really good tattoo and a really, really bad tattoo. And I think at the minute, because of oversaturation, you see a lot more bad tattoos than you do see good tattoos.
Because there's very, very recommended artists that people want to do their tattoos.
Yeah.
So there is a skill, there's a massive skill in it.
It's. I see it as a craft.
Yeah.
It's it is an art form as well, but it's also a service. You're supplying a service to someone. They've entrusted you with their skin, and they're going to give you a lot of money to put something on them for life. You want to make sure that you know exactly what you're doing and give them the best. It's a product at the end of the day. That's how I see it.
Yeah. Okay, so take us through the path now, how you become and get into the world of being your own tattoo and earning a living from it.
And am I earning a living from it?
And trying to earn a living from it.
Trying to earn a living from it.
Yeah.
So I started out in the print. I was a printer for 10 years. Okay. I didn't get my apprenticeship till I was 26, which is quite late in the game. I mean, it's not nowadays, but back then it was. I managed to get an apprenticeship at a shop in South London, and in the tattoo world, it was what we call a street shop. So it wasn't just by appointment only, it was just regular tattoo artists working there. Right. People would come in, you'd have to. I had a mentor at the time. He was telling me little bits and pieces, but it took me 2 years before I even picked up a tattoo machine. Right. It's a lot different nowadays.
Yeah. It's okay. Take us in. So now you've done that. You've done apprenticeship, and now you're becoming a tattooist. First chance you get to actually do a tattoo on someone's skin. How worrying was that?
It was a nightmare. At the time, I thought it was brilliant. I thought, oh, look at that. It's only when it was a friend of mine that let me do it. Thanks, Ruby, for that, by the way. I'm sure it's covered up by now. It was a little rose on a stem, and it was just the lines. And I remember at the time thinking, wow, I've made it.
Yeah. Well, no, it's brilliant, isn't it?
I saw, a year after that, and I thought, what have I done? So I offered to cover it up for her. She said, no, I love it. But I'm sure it's covered up by now. I'm sure it has to be.
So then so basically you're learning your skill as you start doing more and more tattoos. So you've moved on now, and you're creating your own sort of brand, are you? Your own identity?
That's the thing nowadays, right? So to be a really successful tattoo artist in this day and age, you need a brand identity, because it's not about just this is what I've seen anyway, and I've spoke to a lot of tattoo artists about this. It's not just about the art form anymore or getting a good tattoo, because it's quite ubiquitous now. You can go to any studio and get a decent tattoo.
Okay.
You need to have an identity, a personality. People want to get tattooed by the person now, rather than just what they're going to leave with. They want to have an experience.
So how's it changed? Obviously, you've got a lot more women getting tattoos these days.
More than men, I'd say.
Yeah.
I'd say it's, at the moment, my client base, probably 60% women.
Right.
So 40% men. And I do quite, bold, traditional style tattoos.
Yeah. We've got some of your tattoos here. Shall I just let me just show the people roughly what your tattoo. So run us through something like this.
So that is based off of a classic sort of traditional style lady head. But she said she wants her smoking. And she wanted it to be not too delicate. So I thought, let's put a skull in there.
Okay, so this is someone would have asked you to do this, and you've created something for her.
Exactly. I drew that from scratch, yeah. Oh, but again, like I said previously, you're still using reference. Even the best artists in the world are still using reference from the guys that went before us.
Yeah.
Without them, we wouldn't be doing this stuff.
But would this be a one-off tattoo that only she would have? No one else would have that.
People, I'm sure there's people that can copy it.
Yeah, but generally, you've created something personal for that person.
100%. Yeah,
that's good.
Yeah, most of mine are.
So a lot of your stuff is personal. So this is created for someone. They've asked you.
He was a boxer.
Barney, I was a boxer. Can you give me a tattoo?
Can you give me he wanted a 1920s style boxer with tattoos on him.
Right, no.
And I thought, why not? Yeah, it's a cool tattoo. I like that one, actually.
Yeah, no, it's good. It was good. But the thing I like about it, like you're saying, they're bespoke. They're basically
so you wanted that's based loosely off of like a Japanese style snake, and those flames, you see that a lot in Japanese tattooing, and he wanted it around his knee, so obviously that is a custom piece. We had to draw that to fit around his knee. You know, you can't just pick that up from a wall and then hope it fits. It's got to be drawn.
What about the colouring, all the different inks?
Yes.
Are they special inks?
They're pigments. So they're officially, they're not inks. They're pigments that are, so you don't mix them with water. They have to be mixed with, I think there's alcohol that you mix them with them as well.
And do you create your own colours, or do they all just come in specific
They come in
colours?
bottles now.
There's people like the print industry.
Exactly. There's people that still do. I don't honestly know how to do it properly yet, and I wouldn't try and risk it.
Again, it's an art in itself, isn't it, doing the inks? What about this one? This is nice.
Mermaid, that's for a lady. She wanted a mermaid. I'd done one previously to that, and she said she liked what she saw. Yeah. Can I do something similar? Yeah.
So she only shaved half her leg, because look, she's a bit hairy.
Maybe that wasn't a woman then. He's got very, very ladylike arms.
Yeah, so that's...
I did clock the hair down there. Yeah. Must have been.
So that's good. So these are all bespoke?
They're all bespoke. They're all drawn from scratch, but based off of reference. So mermaids have always been in traditional tattooing.
Well, because basically tattoos with sailors was very, very
Sailor Jerry. Sailor Jerry is what most, when you're starting out as a tattooist, if any tattooer worth their salt is going to tell you about him.
Right.
He's the guy. He was I still love his work. He was such a great. He was an illustrator. Like the way he drew for tattooing was just perfect. He understood that you needed this economy of line. Don't make it too busy, you know. And they're strong. They're bold. You can see them from across the room. They are sailor tats. Most of his business was from sailors. Yeah.
All over the world.
So
do you find you get an emotional attachment to tattoos now? People coming in for something very personal.
It's a mix of both. You do get that.
Yeah, because you get people now. They got
you're doing
who they married, their children.
Yeah,
people who've died.
I've had customers come in every time they've had a new grandkid, they get their name off. So the list is like that now. He had 10 kids himself.
But that's it. There's an emotional attachment to some of these tattoos. Of course there is,
and sometimes you become their therapist.
Yeah,
they're going through turmoil. That tattoo means something to them for what they're going through at that time, and they're gonna going through that pain as well, it sort of it helps you speak easier. I can't explain it, but
is there a lot of pain in it then, Barney?
There is a bit of pain, mate. Yeah,
just so people know that it's painful.
Having a needle drilled into your skin is painful. Just to clear that up. Yeah.
So what about, say I'm having a tattoo and I'm having all my back done?
Yeah.
Now I wouldn't then be able to have that in one sitting.
No, you wouldn't. So generally with back pieces, depends on the level of detail, but generally, you're going to do black and grey. You're going to do 3 sessions.
Okay.
For colour, and again, depending on the level of detail, probably 4, maybe 5, depending on how slow they are.
Yeah.
Because it depends on the artist how quick they move. I know guys that can put lines in really quick.
Yeah.
Other guys, they take their time.
So
and the customer don't like them for it either.
Yeah, I bet. Is there a legal aspect? Is there certain tattoos you can't do?
I don't know if there's a law behind it. I don't know the legality of that.
Faces and things like that.
No.
You can have your face tattooed.
I used to work in a really rough shop in Bow, Roman Road, and you'd get a lot of like the kids from gangs would come in.
Really?
Yeah, and I had like an 18-year-old kid, no tattoos at all. He wanted a name put across the bottom of his eye and a pound sign on the other side. I said, I'm not doing that. I'm not going to have that on my conscience.
What did it mean something or meant something to him?
It was something like, it was initials, and I think it was a gang thing. I think it was a gang thing, and then a pound sign on the other side. But I said, I'm not going to do that.
But
then I've got mates in the tattoo industry that say they would do it.
Yeah.
Only because they're going to go down. They're going to get it done either way.
Yeah.
They're going to get it done by anyone.
Yeah.
So either you do it for them and you do it properly, you do a good job for them, or you let them go down the road and get it done for 20 quid, and it's, they're scarred.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So
yeah. What's the person you've mostly tattooed? How much coverage?
I've done a geezer. I'm actually working on this geezer now. So we've done both legs covered, fully covered, and with the like traditional tattoos, so little stickers, but fairly big, palm-sized ones, all over his legs. We're about to start his chest now. And he's saying, I want to go all in. He wants his arms done next. He wants his body done. So it's dedication. It's a lot of money,
Yeah. What is the cost?
So I'm always fair. So you try and go by market. You know, you don't. There's people that take the absolute mick and they're charging thousands for tattoos that are not worth that. You know, at the end of the day, I see it as a service and a craft. I'm going to charge you fairly for my time.
Yeah.
And you know, I've been in the game 8 years now, so I've got a little bit of experience now.
Mm-hmm. So there's not a fixed cost. It's basically. So
our studio, the one I work at the minute, is the minimum's £100. Mm-hmm. But then you go to there's other studios where their minimum's £60.
So the minimum would be if I just want
if you could get a little dot, it's going to cost you £100.
And then if I'm saying having a full arm,
yeah, so then you're going
more and more.
A good full.
Would that
sleeve.
go on time or how long it takes you to do it?
So it depends. So I usually charge by the piece, or if I know I'm going to be with you all day, I'm going to charge you a day rate, which means you can probably get more bang for your buck because I'm quite quick. Yeah. You know, you can get more bang for your buck. So I've got some guys that book in. I want to book a day session. So my day session's $650, which is I think is pretty fair. Yeah, considering
so all day
from 12 to 7, and most of them go. I want to get as many done.
Yeah, and you're not getting a bit tired at the end.
You're knackered. Tattooing is.
So is that drawing not getting a little bit? The eyes are moving a bit.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. I'm sure it happens.
Is there a point where you sort of go, I can't do anymore because I'm knackered?
Yeah. I mean, it wreaks havoc on your neck, back, body, eyes. It is. I don't want to sound like it is a tough job.
Yeah,
it's a tough job.
And what about that person
the pressure
lying
as well.
down? Is he not riddled with pain?
Yeah, but they're getting something out of it at the end of it.
How do you? Have you ever done anything and someone said, "Oh, Barney, I don't like it"?
I've had a terrible experience. When was this? 3-4 years ago. There was a guy and a girl come in, only young, 18 or something, and they wanted dates on the back of their neck. One was 1998 in like a Gothic, Old English sort of font, 1998, and the other was 1997. And okay, he said, I want 97, I want 98. Fine, all right. Put the stencil on. This is on the girl. Put the stencil back of her neck, mind you. I said, now you got to look in the mirror, make sure it's right, happy with the position, the date's right, and everything. She went, yeah. Boom, boom, looked, done the tattoo, finished it, and then she looked in the mirror and she went, that's the wrong one. I wanted 98. She got her own birthday on it. She was supposed to get the fella's birthday. At that point,
I'm with you. Yeah.
So she wanted 98. She got 97.
He wanted hers.
Yeah.
But she had her own, and he had his own.
I'll tell you, man. Even though it's not my fault, your heart just drops. Yeah. You just think,
so what'd you do?
We covered it up. On the same day.
Good.
On the same day. Yeah.
Is that
put a rose over it? Yeah. Roses are always good for cover-ups.
Well, I suppose that's lucky. It was small.
It was small. We weren't too big. We saved it in the end. A couple of leads over the date, and it was fine.
So where do you think tattooing's going now? Is it changing a lot?
It's changed. Even since I've been in the game. So my apprenticeship was 2017. A couple of years before COVID. COVID has changed everything.
Okay.
And not just tattooing. I mean, it's changed everything.
The world.
It's changed the world, but it's really affected tattooing.
How's it changed it?
It's oversaturated the market. After COVID, you saw all these sort of like appointment-only studios pop up, and people that should never really have been into tattooing because from the outside looking in, they thought it was cool. It's a cool job. Yeah. I don't think it is that cool anymore. I think you really got to love it.
Is there no legislation where people have to meet a criteria before they can do a tattoo?
Not legally.
So I could just get a machine and go, yeah.
So, I mean, we were speaking earlier about this, like, that guy that set up a tattoo school.
Yeah.
And he's teaching people to tattoo in 2 weeks. Like, and none of them, from what I've seen, are good artists.
No.
They can't draw.
Well, you can't learn anything in 2 weeks.
I think they think that you learn to tattoo and then that automatically teaches you how to draw as well.
Yeah.
And he's charging silly money for they're gullible people, because if you think you're going to be a tattoo artist in 2 weeks with a little certificate.
Yeah, I thought there would be some sort of legislation to sort of...
So shops need licences.
Yeah.
Yeah, you need licences, but you don't... Each artist doesn't need to have, a certificate that says, I can tattoo.
Okay. Is there any sort of... Do people ever get any reactions to it?
Yeah, normally, it's funny, red ink. Red ink, a lot of people have bad reactions to red ink. And then you get vegans come in and say, can you make sure that all the inks you use are vegan inks? I'll just say they are. I haven't read the pack.
So when you start, do you basically work as part of a group, or you set up your own studio?
No, so every sort of unless you own that studio and you've started it with someone you worked with before or a good friend, you're all freelance. Everyone's freelance, and if you're in a walk-in shop as well, it causes friction because there's a hierarchy. Normally in most shops there's a hierarchy. So let's say you've got 3 artists in a shop and there's walk-in comes in. Normally this is how it works. The geezer that's been there the longest, or girl that's been there the longest, is going to take that walk-in.
Oh, okay.
But let's say he's got a booking that day and the other 2 don't, then okay, you can have that. You've got to sort of make sure it's fair, because I've seen that is the biggest. Tattoo shops have so much drama in them.
Really?
Oh yeah. People get a little bit jealous. They're making more than me. They got bookings. Why are you not booking me work? You're booking in work. I've seen it loads.
Is there a lot of women in tattooing?
Loads
doing tattooing.
Loads now.
And
loads now. So at the moment, the shop I'm at, I'm the only fella.
Okay.
Yeah. So I've been at the studio 3 years now. I think actually no, one guy's just joined. So you got 2 girls, 2 guys now. But tattooing, is a lot of women in tattooing. Really good tattooers as well. Solid, good tattooers.
Do women go for women?
I think they do, which I would understand. If you're going to feel, if a lady's coming in or a young girl's coming in to get a tattoo and she feels more comfortable getting tattooed by a woman, I've got no problem with that.
Does a woman create a more feminine tattoo?
Not necessarily, because one of my favourite artists, she's a woman. She does really bold, traditional sort of tattoos. It's completely unfeminine at all.
Yeah.
But yeah, I suppose so.
Because if you were coming in for a tattoo, do most people want a style? Would they look for someone who does their style?
Yeah, of course. So, I mean, that's the thing now. There's no longer do customers just walk in off the street and look through a flash book or look through designs. It's all online. So, they can shop for a tattoo now, whereas they couldn't do that before. You could go on Instagram, you search hashtag whatever style of tattoo you want, and then you've got 1,000 people that come up at the touch of a button. And you can look through there. They can shop around. Yeah. They can ask how much that's going to cost, and they can ask another artist how much it's going to cost.
Okay, so who does your tattoos?
People I work with. Yeah, but I tell you what, I'm in the process of I want to get my back done.
Okay.
All my back done. There's a few artists I've got in mind, but when work's slow, and that tattoos cost a lot of money.
Amount of money.
You got to save up for them. Even I do.
So don't
and
they
I'm
give
in
you a
the
discount?
industry. Nah. I wouldn't give them a discount. Unless they're mates.
So your future of tattooing, what do you think?
I'm worried. So what I've seen recently is that a lot of these shops, studios, artists that popped up after COVID, I think they're going to fall by the wayside. So, I mean, I say I'm worried. I think I've got to stick it out for another good 2-3 years to separate the wheat from the chaff, because they're still there.
What about your regular customers? They can only have so many tattoos, can't they?
That's what I'm saying. I'm running out of clients. I'm running out of skin.
Yeah.
So, but I'm quite lucky compared to some artists. Like, I do have a good client base, and they stick with me. I think it's because we can have a laugh as well with them. It's not just about I see some tattoo artists, they bring their clients in, they put their headphones in, and they just tattoo. They don't talk to them for the whole session. For me, I like having a laugh. I want to chat to people. I want to know. Yeah, it's
you want to know about what they're doing and
why
they're doing it.
Yeah, I'm interested. I'm a people person as well as a tattoo artist. I like to talk to people. Yeah.
So apart from say that chap who came in to have it on his face, is there any other people you wouldn't do tattoos for?
I wouldn't do anything racist or anything sort of like right wing or anything. There's not a lot I wouldn't do, to be honest.
Yeah. But, of course, people can put their expressions on, can't they?
They and the thing is, like, I could do it.
Yeah.
I could do
There's
it.
There's no legal thing to say you can't.
Nah, I'm sure if like anything like a swastika or something.
What would you do if you had that on your head? What could they do about it?
Well, it's on you.
That's what I'm saying. What could they do?
Not a lot. I don't know. I don't know. These days, they'll probably lock you up, but I don't know.
Yeah, these days they probably would. So you're going to stick with the tattooing? Yeah.
I'll put it, the way I see it now, I love it anyway. I'd do it if I weren't making money. For me, it ain't just about making money.
Yeah.
And I would have left 5 years ago. It was about making money. For me, I love it. I just got to stick it out, and I'm still improving every day. I'm learning things every day.
Yeah.
Good tattooers will tell you, you never learn enough. You're always learning more.
So where are the trends at the moment? Is there anything specific people are doing?
For the last few years, it's been the tiny little sort of fine line, micro realistic tattoos, which I've started to have to cover up now because, they get them done and they look amazing on the day. They look like incredible. But, the way the human body works, tattoos don't heal like that.
Yeah.
Tattoo lines get thicker. Ink spreads under the skin. So if you've got a micro-realistic little sort of dog portrait, that is not going to look like that in 2 years. And I can tell you that for a fact because I've seen it happen.
What do you think about these companies now that can remove the tattoos?
Yeah, so we've got a guy that works with us. He does laser removal, and it's worrying because he's the busiest in the shop.
Is he?
He's flat out. But I'm hoping it's not because
to get into that Barney.
But I'm hoping it's because he's busy because the people getting rid of them have got really bad tattoos. Because what will happen is sometimes they'll get one removed and they'll get someone good to put another one over it. Yeah. So I'm hoping that. I hope tattoos.
Have you? How do they get rid of a tattoo then? Is it you say a laser?
It's a laser. Yeah, I've had it done myself.
Is it painful?
It's excruciating. I moan when I get tattooed, but lasering, it's painful.
So are you limited to how much? I mean, surely they wouldn't take a whole tattoo off.
I've seen the geezer at the shop I'm at now. He had a full black and grey dark sleeve from wrist to shoulder covered, and this geezer that works with us got rid of it in a year.
It took a year.
Certain colours take longer to break down.
Yeah.
So I think black and grey is if I'm not mistaken, black and grey is the easiest to get rid of. Darker colours like purples and blues, I think they're harder to break down because it literally. I mean, I don't know the ins and outs of it, but on what I understand is it breaks down the pigment in the layer of the skin, so it breaks it down. So it's sort of similar to laser hair removal, but it's a lot stronger.
Yeah. So, but a year is quite a long time. How long? What would he come back once a week? Once every 2 weeks?
No. So you've got to give it at least. I think it's a couple of months in between each session. Yeah,
because
I've had it done on a few tattoos, and it leaves your skin a mess. It bubbles up.
Why did you have it done?
Ex's names.
So would you say to people, don't have your girlfriend's name?
Do not get your girlfriend or boyfriend's name tattooed on you. Do not do it, because there's a thing in tattooing that as soon as you do that, you get your partner.
It's the kiss of death.
It's the kiss of death. Yeah. You will be. The first shop I was at, we had a girl 18. I want to get my boyfriend's name on my hip. We all tried to talk her out of it. Do not do that. You'll regret it. Don't do it. Don't do it. Blah blah blah. She got it done. She come back, and I'm not exaggerating here. I think it was 4 days later. She come back. God. It was still healing. So I got to get rid of it. I got to cover it. So we can't. It's still healing. It's a scab. We can't do anything. Yeah. Come back in 2 weeks. We can sort you out. But just do not do it. To anyone watching, do not do it.
Yeah, that's good. So Barney, if someone is interested in contacting you about having a tattoo, what's the best way of contacting you?
Instagram. At the moment, or email. You could get me through email. Okay. But Instagram's the best.
We're going to put all that on.
Cool.
For you, so you can. So it'll come up, and we'll put all that on.
Great.
Okay, so that's great. So they're going to get in contact with you. You're going to do that. What I'd like you to do, maybe come back in a few months' time, just to let us know how you're getting on and where you think the tattooing's gone. And then I've got a lot more questions I want to ask you when you've got a bit more time.
Okay.
Is that all right, Barney?
That sounds great.
Thanks for coming in.
Thank you,
I really appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Cheers. Bye-bye.
I didn't want to keep you too long, Barney.
That's all right.